I bought a badge that says museum lover or something.
Museum nerd.
Museum nerd.
Museum lover.
I was just like, well, I want to say museum slut, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't museum slut.
I might have wanted if it said museum slut.
It would be entirely accurate if it said museum slut. But I'm like, I don't think I would have bought that. I think my mother wouldn't be happy.
You're just picturing a museum slut.
It's just me in a museum.
Hi! Wow, we're already making Lauren laugh. That's good. Literally, all we did was stow up and you started laughing.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
And welcome.
Sorry, I didn't know if I was meant to.
They're your friends.
So say hello to the listeners. And try to get close when you talk.
Hello, friends.
That was beautiful. And welcome to Pickles and Vodka, the mental health podcast. I got nothing.
But we've been vulnerable on the internet since 2016?
18.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Adeline thought of a new tagline for us, or rather a new bio for us. Being vulnerable on the internet since 2018. Yeah, surprise. One of our guests from last week is back.
Because I haven't flown in yet.
Yes. Janai flew back yesterday. Womp womp. Yeah. I don't think there is a sound effect for crying. We just have to cry ourselves.
We need Janai to be here to be the editor and find out.
Right.
Exactly. I thought you were going to say Janai needs to be here to cry.
Me too.
In the background.
Can we hire them to be our editor? Do we make enough money yet?
Did you make any money?
We do, actually. Somehow, miraculously. And you, too, can be a paid subscriber.
Even though we try really hard not to because we're so embarrassed to bring it up.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Lauren.
And I'm Adeline.
So yeah, we have a surprise recurring guest this week. It was going to be Lauren's week to pick a topic, but you're off the hook because we have a great idea for the episode, and I'm just going to hand it over to Adeline to say what it is.
Does this count as product placement? Or should I could just not say the name of it. We have a game that is meant to help friends open up and be vulnerable and talk about things that might otherwise be, not at the forefront of their mind.
I like this. I am intrigued and excited.
I think we should say the name even if they're not paying us.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we say perfect vape?
When you guys said perfect vape, I thought you were just saying, this is the perfect vape. I didn't realize that was a brand.
It's a website where you can buy all different ones, and I've just found their prices are much cheaper, which is why I was buying from them. But also, their shipping is kind of shit, so, since they're not a sponsor yet, I can say that.
When we talk at the same time, that's the only time the audio suffers. Oh my god, this is so funny. Adeline said that they watched our episode, and they said, I can't believe you barely edited it. And I was like, bitch, I've been editing it for hours.
It's because it still had all of us just being, idiots on. I was like, I thought you were going to make us, seem, I don't know.
Professional.
I was thinking more less of a mess.
That's
We've
impossible.
never done that.
Especially with four of us.
Yeah,
that's true.
We've never had that many people on the podcast before, I don't think.
Especially not on video. Because you did one with a friend, and I think there were more people in the room, even though one of them only really talked.
Oh yeah, but that was still only 3 people.
Oh yeah, because I wasn't
And
there.
we were all in the same room. We didn't have to deal. Anyway, this is boring. So
we can edit that.
Right.
We're not going to edit anything out. But wait, actually, we should talk about our feelings a little first, I guess.
Oh, no.
Yeah, how was your week then?
My week, I've been spending time with friends. We've been thrifting. We went to the art museum today. It was magical. We got to see someone blow glass.
Oh, cool.
And if you yourself would like to see someone blow glass, YouTube is your friend. Also, Blown Away on Netflix.
Okay.
Apparently it's like the British Bake Off, but with glass blowing.
It's wonderful. I don't know how people have not heard of this. I love glass blowing.
Pickles and vodka and glass.
Yes, all things we love.
Then I would be a recurring guest, so I would just be on here every week. So the structural properties that make glass quite so fascinating.
Anyway, we watched someone make a gorgeous bowl, and then it shattered at the very end.
It was hard.
Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good. I've been stretching myself pretty thin, which is something I do when I'm with people I love. And so I've been kind of exhausting myself, but in a not a terrible way. I'm just trying to be more cognizant of my energy levels and trying to give myself rest.
Mm-hmm.
And when you give yourself rest, literally nobody cares.
True. Like, it's so important, but yeah, no one is like applauding you for that.
Or saying, oh, they're lazy, or oh, where are they? Like, what are they doing? Oh, they're resting?
Yeah. Why aren't you
What a
doing something? I
slob.
need you to be doing something for me.
You sound just like my inner voice. The mean one.
So in my family and also larger circle of friends, we do a thing that we call sociable sleeping, which is where you will go into a public room, like a living room, and one of you has a nap and you just hang out. And I really like this.
I love this because I swear to God, my friends and I had this idea, I don't know, maybe like 10, even 12 years ago. I was just, like hanging out with a friend and her husband who I'd gotten to know really well too. So we're all pretty much friends, and we were just all like laying on their bed in different positions. And I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if there was a room that was just mostly like a big bed and you could just hang out there with your friends? And if you fell asleep, fine. And if not, you talk laying down. So yeah,
that is every
that
room.
sounds exactly
room.
like what I was imagining. And I love that it exists.
Why do you need a specific room?
Just lie down.
The floor is great.
The floor is great. The world is your bed.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Moving on.
All right. You're going through some shit.
Yeah, I'm going through some shit.
Yeah. On vacation.
That sucks.
But at least we have glass blowing.
Yeah, we have glass blowing and journaling and listening to mid-2000s emo music.
Ooh.
Nice.
All of which are very important and cathartic.
Yeah, that's great. Lauren, how are you feeling?
I am stressed as fuck. I mean, I feel like there's the obvious reasons, still not that far out from like one of the biggest tragedies of my life. And then I immediately decided to turn around and buy a condo. So that's a lot of stuff.
When are you moving in, by the way?
June 12th. Yesterday,
you said
it was
before.
4 weeks. So I'm now the under 4 week mark. But on top of that, there's all these things that have been building up, and it's kind of like I know need to get done, but haven't gotten done. It's like I need to. It just so happens they made that Real ID deadline that I need to get at the same time that my passport expires. So as of today, I can't fly.
Oh,
because I need to get both those things done.
Did you have any plans to fly?
But, just realizing, like, for the first time in my life, like, I could not even fly to Chicago.
Fuck. I mean, once everything simmers down, it's definitely priority.
Yeah, and some of it is, like, I don't want to get any of that stuff when I don't live in the new place yet. Because I don't want to get my Real ID and have to, like, show proof of my address and be like, well, here's the shitty place that I'm living. I won't be here next month.
Well, can't you apply with your new address and just tell them that that's where you'll be moving?
I don't think for that, because I think you have to show a piece of mail that you've received.
Can't you show them, like haven't you signed anything?
Yeah.
Can you show them that?
I'm still not sure that it would work, because I think at the very least it has to be some sort of like bill, like a utility bill or something. I haven't gotten those transferred over.
All right. Yeah. Well, you can do that later.
I could do the passport. Then I could at least fly.
I need to renew mine too, actually. Yeah. I don't want to talk about passports anymore.
Yeah, it's like all that stuff, and there's like crazy things going on at work that I'm supposed to be taking care of. I've felt recently, and I don't think it's any fault of hers, like I got that newer person at work who kind of ended up being more like above me in the whole like financial department, even though she only works part-time and remote. But in the beginning, I was doing everything, and it felt like she was a help because I was getting buried. But I think that only lasted so long, and now our boss is just starting to see it as like, oh, I have an extra person to do all these other like financial and budget type things that should have been being done, but we didn't have enough people. So he's giving her too much work, and I am back to having the same amount. And on top of that, I think she's probably getting overworked. So instead of being able to help me when we talk, then it seems more like she's in the middle of projects and she's like, can you just do this for me and run this report? And I'm just kind of like, I've already got everything going on. Why did you add more?
That sounds exhausting.
So, yeah, it's just like every day I feel by the end of the workday like I'm going to pass out or throw up or maybe both. Yeah. So I need like a 2-week break from life. I'm hoping once I move that I can at least take a week
You've been
off.
saying that for so long.
I know.
But yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I feel like I'll have a really good excuse then. Be like, guys, I need to straighten out my condo. Do my work for me for a week. Thanks.
Oh, that'll be nice. All right. Now that that's done, let's play this game. So what is the game called?
We're Not Really Strangers.
We're Not Really Strangers.
Edition.
Oh yeah, would you like to explain the gist of the game, the original, and what we're doing?
So you pick out cards. There are levels 1, 2, and 3, which are the levels of intensity. I suppose is the best word. And you do as many as you'd like from each section, and you chat about the questions.
Okay.
We played with Janai in their hotel room the other day, and it was actually really good. Cool. Yeah, and I think it was you, Adeline, that said we should just do this on the podcast.
Yeah.
It felt like a podcast episode.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the friendship edition. That's the only thing we need to say, I think, is that there's the original game, which is just like basic vulnerable questions, I guess.
The original is meant for people who are literal strangers.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, what do you think this would be like based on your first impression of me? Which does not work for friends because
you know some of those answers.
What do you think I would be like at home? You're like, I have been to your house.
But yeah, this is the friendship edition, which is for friends, and we're friends. Yeah. So this is level 1.
Lauren can answer the first question.
Okay.
What do you think comes easily for you that is hard for others?
Music. I understand people that can't read music, but I've been able to for so long that it also just kind of blows my mind, especially if people like have some musical ability, and I'm just like, but it's right there. And don't get me started on people that just like can't get a rhythm. Can't you hear it?
So now would Lauren read a question?
Yeah, but we could also throw the question to either of us.
So Lauren, you can pick who answers the next question.
Yeah, it's your game. Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, the question as it's written is, what do you think I'm sensitive to?
Wait, I have to read it as Lauren.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lauren. What do you think I'm sensitive to? So what do you think Lauren's sensitive to?
Yeah, so in general, not sure. Right now, things relating to Pico would be very sensitive. Clearly work and also sorting out your condo also might be upsetting.
I would say the first one was the best. I would say animals in general, even when it's a good thing, you know, like I was over at my friend Vicky's and I love her dog, but, you know, giving him an attention was still just like, there's sadness under that. So, yeah, very true.
Do you think her dog could sense that you were sad?
Well, we've always liked to joke because her dog, not in a mean way, more in just like a barking, like loud, agitated way, I'd say is very reactive to other dogs, but got along with Pico, and that's what she used to say, Pico's her only friend.
No.
Yeah. So we're like, she probably misses him, too.
All right, moving on from that
Sorry about
subject.
You have the cards.
All right.
There you go, you can be me and ask yourself a question.
Okay, what about me is most intimidating, if anything? I'm so confused about who's asking who what.
Well, I've gone and you haven't, so...
Oh, so I have to answer this?
Yes.
What about me is most intimidating, if anything? I mean, I think my height, my resting bitch face, my tattoos. I mean, I could go on.
I like that you had no trouble coming up with it.
I've been told I'm intimidating. Also, I'm very reserved in front of new people, and so I think that makes me unapproachable, when in reality I'm the most, like, a nice person ever.
You are very sweet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Lauren's back in the hot seat.
I want to read this one.
No, do.
Lauren, what assumption did you make about me that was furthest from the truth?
I feel like I have a good answer for this, but I gotta think how to word it correctly. because I think we kind of talked about this a little bit last time. It's like, I sort of thought that you were all just like, not bitch, but like, don't give no fucks attitude and just kind of, yeah, like, I'm going to do what I want. And if you don't like it, fuck you.
That version of me sounds really cool.
I did think you were really cool. No, I still do.
I used to. That was before I got to know you. That's before I hosted a podcast with you.
But yes, I have definitely learned that it's practically the direct opposite, which is funny to me sometimes when I think about it.
Okay, so we'll do a few more from the first level.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're going to get more like, oh.
Yeah. This is the easiest
Gotcha.
level. So yeah, ask.
What about my style is undeniably me?
Ooh, I would say your dresses. You're always wearing cute little dresses and skirts.
Mountains of florals.
Mountains of florals. Which, I mean, you're also covered in tattoos, and all of your tattoos, like we instantly like gushed over each other's tattoos. Oh yeah, my sister did a peach tattoo on them.
I saw. I'm so jealous.
You want to hold it up to the camera? Well, yeah, it's.
That made me the most jealous of all, that I was not there with you guys.
Lauren, I'm going to give you a tattoo one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we need to get matching pickles and vodka tattoos.
Yes.
It's just undeniable. It'll happen when we get 50 subscribers. I'm only partly kidding. But yeah, undeniable about your style.
I'm adorable.
Well, how do you feel about that word?
That is how I would describe myself.
Well, I know some people don't like being called adorable because it kind of, like, some people think it infantilizes them, but you are pretty fucking adorable.
I would rather be infantilized than sexualized, and usually people go with the sexualized, so I'm okay with that.
That's fair.
All right, Christina.
I feel like I should type Lauren's questions in there so she can ask us. I don't know.
You could hold it up to the camera, see how blurry it goes.
Well, is this like...
Oh, I can.
you see
I can
this?
read it.
Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah! All right.
Oh, hang on, I just clicked on something stupid, so it popped up. Okay, now I can see it. What do you think I spend most of my time thinking about these days, or who?
I mean, Pico, bassist.
Yeah, not always good, because sometimes he's being a butt.
And yourself. If you're anything like me, I mean, I feel like I think about myself a lot, and it's made me feel really guilty.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's probably true, but not in the healthiest way. It's more, like criticizing everything I've ever done, or things like that. Yeah, I probably overthink things about myself.
All right, are you ready to get vulnerable?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready for the real thing now.
Level 2. Lauren, growth is realizing that blank.
It's like this is the final test of the Pickles and Vodka co-host position.
This is your pop quiz.
Actually, the first thing that came to mind is I was like, didn't we do a whole episode on growth? And I can't remember a single thing we said once yet.
That's so real.
Growth is realizing that you don't remember your episode about growth.
No. I think growth is realizing that sometimes you just got to do the hard shit.
How would you define hard shit?
I think like working on yourself instead of continuing to bury your head under the sand when you know that you're doing something bad for yourself. And I feel like also with some of that type of stuff that someone of a less mature mind might find it easier to, like make excuses and justify, just like latch on to things like, well, I'm drinking every night, but it's because this dude told me that I was ugly 20 years ago. And clearly I can't get over that. So of course that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, like at some point you got to kind of grow up and realize like, yeah, that might have sucked, but it doesn't mean that I get to just continue to hang on to this excuse. Like that's why I get to destroy myself.
Also too real. So now Lauren gets to read one?
Mm-hmm. It's not quite centered.
Wait, but you have to decide who you want to read it to. So say their name first.
Christina. When was the last time you were a bad friend? What could you have done differently?
Ooh, I think when I went to PHP, I stopped texting a lot of people. And even though I kind of said that I was going to be really busy, that's no excuse to just drop off the face of the earth. I basically went a whole month without, like, texting many people or checking in on people. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses on here, so that's my answer. I felt like a bad friend then. And I know I tend to do that. I tend to, what's the word? Avoid.
Yeah.
I'm avoidant when it comes to friendships sometimes. So, like, I knew I was being a bad friend, and that made me even more avoidant, and that made me not reach out even more. Yeah, so I'm prone to do that. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask Adeline the next question. Do you still want to answer it?
Yeah.
Adeline, what do you keep doing that keeps hurting?
I keep accepting people's apology as being enough and not requiring them to change, and then being really shocked when they do the same thing again.
Wow, now I feel called out.
Sorry. Fang's fur is all over Adeline's boobs.
I'm glad everyone gets to know now.
Well, we can skip that. We can cut it out. Everything dumb we say, we'll just cut. The episode will be 3 seconds long. Okay, so now you.
Yes.
I'm getting the hang of it, see?
Lauren, what are you procrastinating right now, and why does it feel so hard?
Very, very specifically, I am procrastinating getting my occupancy permit because it was supposed to be an easy thing, and I went online where I was supposed to do it, and I entered my address, and I know for a fucking fact I entered this address correct, and for some reason my unit number is 2C, and it came up all pre-filled for 3D and, someone else's name on it, and I was like, that's probably the person that lives in 3D. I'm not trying to take your home. So at this point, I figure that it's such a mess on there that I probably just have to call and talk to someone and explain it and get it reset or whatever magic they have to do. But I feel like this kind of ties in with all the other kind of questions. Because first of all, I don't like talking on the phone. So I'm letting that get way in my head just to do this one little thing, even though every other thing for the condo I've been right on top of. And I feel like because all of these other things are happening that's so overwhelming, I'm also trying to make excuses and be like, there's just too many overwhelming things, and I'm trying to deal with this probably fucking undiagnosed ADHD, which makes it harder. Why? My life is so hard. Don't you understand? So, yeah, very, very small task, and I am clearly putting it off and trying to give myself every excuse why I should be.
I was going to say, life with undiagnosed ADHD feels like you're doing it on hard mode. When I heard that description of it, I immediately agreed. I was like, yeah. So that's what you're doing right now.
What's the most loving thing you've done for yourself recently?
I hate this question. I have to think about this. Part of me wants to say, eating lunch. Part of me wants to say taking a nap the other day. It's all physical self-care things.
You also, when we were hanging out, us and Janai, you said you wanted some time by yourself. And I think that was very loving, that you not only recognized that you needed some time by yourself, but you actually said that to us, and you were like, I will come hang out with you when I have the energy. I'm going to go lie down and rest.
I was supposed to go back and hang with you that night, but I didn't because I was too tired.
And no one
then
was
you
mad.
needed it.
I thought everyone was mad.
We were it got to 9 o'clock, and we were like, yeah, I don't think they're coming. Do you want to just watch something silly? And then we ended up doing the crosswords.
Aw, this is actually so cathartic for me. Moving on. Lauren, what conversation are you avoiding?
Oh,
she froze. Okay, you're back. That was funny.
No, I might have just literally froze. I was just like,
That's even funnier.
Yes, I have a couple, though one of them, I don't know what the conversation is exactly, just something needs to take place, which is having some sort of conversation with the boyfriend. I feel like that might have been the one you were thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week, but yeah, that is what I was thinking about.
But I also keep struggling with trying to have a conversation. I guess maybe because I'm not sure about who to have it with, about how I've been feeling at work lately. They pride themselves on not being this way, especially because we are very small. There aren't very many people there, but just it's felt really cliquey, and I'm clearly not in the cliques. And I don't know. I don't know who would be the choice to unload on. Like the fact that our office manager, I feel like she got like universally liked by everyone because she actually like does a good job and is a good person. But then we hired her brother-in-law. And sometimes I feel like he gets all of this praise and everything just because they're like, oh, well, you're related to her. We already know that we all love her. And it just kind of, seems like there's some nepotism. There's some clicks. Yeah. That they, are so happily priding themselves on just like, everybody gets along. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's nobody that like I hate there or anything, but it's a little high schooly.
Has that ever happened to you, Adeline?
That happened in the charity shop I worked at. And I did complain to the district manager. And she decided that the best course of action was to talk to the people and be like, hey, include them, which was not the best course of action.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it was not fun.
So don't say anything, just keep being miserable.
Okay, no. Maybe talk to somebody with slightly more tact.
Yes.
Or just try to people please your way into the in-group.
I'm not sure we should be recommending.
We should not be offering advice right now. I'm so sorry. So now, Lauren reads one, or you read one?
I think we got messed up because you really wanted me to answer that question.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to pick a random one.
Okay. What's the most recent thing that you've been influenced to buy?
Oh,
that should be good.
I'm trying to think of the last thing I bought that wasn't, food.
Well, you bought something at the art museum today.
Oh, I bought a badge that says museum lover or something?
Museum nerd.
Museum nerd.
Museum lover.
I was just like, well, I want to say museum slut, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't museum slut.
I might have wanted if it said museum slut.
It would be entirely accurate if it said museum slut. But I'm like, I don't think I would have bought that. I think my mother wouldn't be happy.
You're just picturing a museum slut.
It's just me in a museum.
Yeah. Oh my god, okay. So now you get to...
Yeah, I've picked out some level 3s.
We're at level 3? You weren't even going to warn us?
Do you think we're ready?
I'm not sure you're ever ready for level 3. You're just gonna dive in.
If anyone's ready, it's us, right?
Okay, Lauren.
Why does it keep going to me? What? Isn't it your turn?
Okay, your turn.
All right.
What is something you should stop apologizing for?
Everything.
What is something Shut up. Oh, God, why? I mean, I want to say everything. Existing. I don't get to say resting because I said that earlier. Probably, I apologize a lot for saying no to things. And I want to apologize for that less because I actually kind of love saying no to things. And I think we should normalize people just being able to say no to things and not having to say why.
I love saying 100%. No. I love saying no so much. I love being invited to things, like parties, but I hate parties. I do not enjoy parties. I don't want to go, but I want to be invited.
That's fair.
I love being like, oh my god, do you want to go to this party? And I'm like, no, but thank you so much for thinking of me.
I almost feel like we should roleplay, like you invite me to a party, and I say no.
Oh my
or
god.
Wait, something else.
Chris, you want to go to this, art gallery with me?
You want to say an excuse first, don't you?
I'm literally thinking, okay, do I work that night? You know what? That sounds great, but I have been really tired lately, and I need a night to just do nothing.
Okay, so here's the new prompt. No is a full sentence.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, still said an excuse.
You still said an excuse.
I mean, no shade. I would do the exact same thing, but...
Okay.
Let me something.
Adeline, would you like to be the third co-host of Pickles and Vodka?
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. All right.
Let's try again.
Okay.
Chris?
Yeah?
Would you like to eat an entire tub of sorbet with me?
No.
Okay, a little less judgmental, maybe.
No, thanks.
There we go.
Oh, God.
Chris, do you want to go rollerblading tomorrow?
Well, I actually...
So the answer to that's probably yes. So.
Well, I thought it'd be harder than eating the tub of sorbet.
No, thank you.
Okay. Do you want to shove a spike in the ground?
No, thank you. Sorry, I was judging.
I was running out of
I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
We can definitely cut some of this.
Oh, no. I have to think that someone will find this helpful.
Someone will.
Or at least
And
funny.
for whoever this is, no is a full sentence. You do not need to give a reason why. It does not matter what the thing is. Someone could say, oh, I want you to come to the birth of my child. No, thank you.
That reminds me, like, when I told you that thing I read about, like discussing opinions that you don't agree with family or something, and just saying, I disagree is a sentence, and that's all you have to say.
You've given that line on the podcast before, and I love it. I think I actually tried that out with a family member recently.
Oh, wow. Did it work?
It worked for me. Like, they kept talking,
Right.
but honestly, I felt more at peace after saying that.
Good.
You know, I think you're getting kind of old. You need a boyfriend.
Well, Darlin, I sure do disagree, but, you think whatever you want.
All you need to say is just,
Oh, you're right.
I disagree.
She says, well, Darlin, I disagree.
Well, darling, I do dong disagree.
That's going to be the title of the episode.
Well, I do dong disagree.
No, not that. I'll figure it out. I disagree.
You're not going to have it as ding dong?
I disagree. No, I'm getting good at that.
Ding dong, darling, I disagree.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay. Woo, level 3 is spicy.
Here is the...
Oh.
I grabbed some ones that weren't like, what did you think about my ex?
Oh, Lord Almighty. Lauren,
Yes.
I'm going to talk in this accent as to
dear.
soften
Oh,
the blow.
No.
Just kidding, I can't do that. Without laughing. No, that's already confusing enough.
I like doing the accent.
All right, so...
Lauren, in what ways do you and Christina enable each other, and how can you hold each other accountable moving forwards?
The question said, how do you and Christina enable each other?
Obviously not.
But we've only met a scant few times, my god.
I can think of one immediately.
Okay.
I think we sometimes riff off each other to avoid vulnerable conversations.
Yes. It's another one where I'm just kind of like, the thoughts are kind of like floating and I'm trying to put them into something coherent. I feel like as much as I talked in the last question or 2 questions ago about not, like giving yourself excuses, and I feel like sometimes, especially like if one of us is having a hard time, then we're quick to do that for the other person. And I do wonder if it's because we both are, you especially, not to call you out, but I know that I do the same thing, are very like afraid to step on people's toes or anything like that. So I feel, like instead of maybe calling each other out when we could a lot, that we're just kind of like, no, I'll support you in whatever you need to do.
That's a good one.
So, how are you going to hold each other accountable? Oh, I'm sorry. How are you going to hold each other accountable?
That's better. We have to have a silliness timer.
Yeah.
Start joking, set that timer. This is hard.
I know. I mean, all I can think is I feel like it's just something that you just have to kind of like grit your teeth and do it. Like I have to, if I'm thinking something like that, I might have to like call you out and be like, she's not going to hate me forever. Right?
Oh, no.
But that's like, I think my fear is why I would, like hold back a lot.
So you're both people-pleasing out of a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
So maybe what you could do moving forward is trust in your friendship and your bond and actually say the things.
Yeah, we've been doing this a hot minute. I think, we might like each other or something. I don't think I'm going to hate you forever based on like one sentence you say to me once.
It's only been 3 years. Partners.
Yeah.
Partner. All right, this is gross. Moving on.
No, this is lovely. This is connection. This is friendship. This is beautiful. Stop making things silly when you feel embarrassed.
All right. Yes.
I'm calling you out.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, just yes.
Okay.
I feel like I have to read one. I have it no.
Okay, Lauren has to read one.
What limiting belief do you think is holding me back the most?
I mean, I don't know about specifically you, but in general, most people are limited by the fact that they think that they are not good enough or they are not enough. And I have basically never found this to be a case.
Like in other people?
Yes, because I know I often feel like I'm not good enough, but I've never looked at anyone else and been like, no, you're not enough. You need to be better, especially with things like, getting help. You always feel like you need to be really at your worst to deserve help, but everyone deserves help.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the good things. You don't have to be the best to deserve praise. You deserve praise because you tried, because you did what you could.
No, thank you for that, by the way. I saw this reel the other day that was about creativity and like holding yourself back. And it was like, talent does not count if you're not doing things. Like 100 people can have half as much talent, but because they take 50% more effort, or I forget I'm really fucking this up. I lost it. I'm going to cut that. I'm so sorry. You have no idea how often this happens.
I do not know. I think you were generally along the same gist, though.
Well, yeah, people hold themselves back because they don't think they're good enough. But, like, there's other people that aren't as talented as you, but they do it anyway.
Yes.
Like, they don't think that... That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Do it scared.
Do it scared, yeah.
There's people out there that you might see that it's just like, wow, they just, like, think they're the shit, even though they're, like, mediocre at what they're doing. But if you look back at it, it's like, but they're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really proud of this podcast. It's the one area in my life that I did imperfectly and stuck to it. And I don't know, even though we're not like famous or anything, I do think we're worth it. Like, I recommend it to people I meet because I think it's worth recommending.
The things that we built, yes, we're not the number one podcast on on Spotify or anything like that.
Nor will we ever be, and that's
no, because the things that we have done is enough. I feel like because like we got those messages for our 200th episode, and I think we got one from Orion then too, who also didn't. He discovered us just kind of like independently. So yeah, that's what I remember hearing like from him and Jess and being like, that's two people that just like found us.
That's
not
true.
Friends, not family. They found us and we did something for them. And that was just like, that was a really humbling moment.
Yeah.
Also, as a sort of humble brag for you guys, you might not be the number one podcast on whatever platform, but you are the only podcast I have actually stuck with.
Wow.
I've tried so many podcasts. And
it's not just because you know us, though?
No, it's because I don't feel like I have to do anything. So like with most podcasts, like if it's like a story-based one, I'm like, oh, I need to remember all of the details. And if I can't remember all of the details, then I'm not consuming this media correctly and I'm just ruining it. And then when it's like informative ones, I feel sort of ashamed at myself that they're like, oh, well, of course everyone knows about the Third Army that invaded Czechoslovakia. And I'm like, well, I didn't know about one or two. Excellent. And the way that you two talk, and especially because you're both so vulnerable, and you're like, I cried when I had to like open some posts today. And I know that I can just come as I am and listen and feel that I am not just an equal, but like I am a peer, and I don't need to do anything to be a listener. I can just listen.
Thank you. Yeah. I almost want to end with that.
I know.
Damn. But I feel like we should do a few more from round 3.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not even sure everyone's answered a third round yet.
Yeah.
All right, here's the little poem.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, Adeline, when was the last time you had a big win and how can we celebrate?
I think booking this trip was a big win. I've been planning this for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And I don't like flying. I do not like any aspect of flying. I don't like being away from home. I have been thinking every single day about my garden, about my cats. There's nothing about traveling that I actually like, but I did it. And I I organized everything, I booked everything, I did the research, I got insurance, and I also believed in myself and my ability to do this on my own, which is actually more of the bigger win, is that when I, found that I had to do this trip by myself, I was like, okay, I can do this. I can manage being in the airport by myself. I can manage navigating in a foreign country where everyone drives on the wrong side of the road and I don't understand any of the rules. I didn't know you couldn't cross the road.
It's the wild, wild west, baby.
Yeah, someone's like, you're jaywalking! I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I can't believe someone said that. Nobody seems to care that you're not supposed to.
Oh, they
Wow.
Perhaps they were concerned for my safety. But, yeah, the fact that I have not only said, yeah, I'm going to do this thing for me, and I'm going to spend money on myself, which is hard.
Yeah, we've had conversations about this in the car.
Yeah. Spending money on myself, the flights and the hotels and also just things like food. I had to get extra medication for like my antihistamines and other things. Like, I've spent a lot of money on this trip, but I did it and I believed in myself and it's all been fine because I can deal with this. And there have been, little wobbles along the way. But I have dealt with it and I do not need to rely on people because I can do this. And if I want to rely on people, or if I would like to, that is a completely different thing. But the big win is that I know I can do it, and I trust myself.
Can we get an amen?
I don't know about that, but can I just tell a funny, totally unrelated story that I thought of when you said jaywalking?
Absolutely.
So there was a 80s movie, I know it had Ali Sheedy in it, that was like one of the few movies that she was like a popular 80s actress. She'd be around like Winona Ryder, that kind of stuff. It was one of the few movies that we had taped. So when I'm growing up in the 80s, we watched it all the time. And one of the first scenes, like, she's young and she's acting out, so she ends up like spending a night in jail. And she is spending a night in jail with a prostitute. Again, I haven't seen this from the 80s. I feel like it might have been a trans woman prostitute.
The term is sex worker now?
Fuck you.
I can also be specific and say full service sex worker.
But anyway, they're in the jail cell talking, and she's talking about, like, she's probably like complaining about what happened to her. And then she asks the other woman, what are you in for? And, this like woman clearly like heavily made up, barely dressed and everything, just looks and is like, jaywalking. And so obviously like that's supposed to be the joke, but since I'm watching it when I'm 6 or 7 years old, there's so many years that I literally thought like jaywalking is some sort of like sex crime or something like that. I just had no idea. When I finally found out, I was just like, it's just crossing the street.
Okay, I have to ask now, Lauren, what did you think it was?
I had no idea. Probably
maybe public indecency for the clothing?
Yeah, maybe that, or maybe having to do with like your pimp parading you around, like there's the walking. I don't know.
We're all learning about each other.
We're all learning about each other. Yeah, wow. Oh, but how can we help you celebrate?
I think you have helped me celebrate. We went to the Glass Museum.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a little sit in that lovely garden.
Yeah.
We went to a very cute coffee shop.
Zeke's. Shout out.
Yes. There were also several very beautiful women at the museum.
Beautiful women, shout out.
Yes. Big fan. Love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Yeah. Like, you have helped me because you have been able to do the bits that I did not feel up to. So you are not only celebrating my win, but you're also participating in my win.
Ooh, I like that. Participating in the win. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
All right, Adeline, you're going to ask the final question.
Oh my goodness, can I?
And maybe we can all answer.
That's good.
Who knows?
Great.
Yeah.
Big group discussion.
This lotion from the hotel smells so fucking good.
It does, yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Lauren and Christina, have I changed your mind about anything?
Ooh. I mean, this feels like a very self-centered answer, but you've changed the way I think about myself. Like, even in the short time that we've been together in person, just the way you, like, call me out on things like you did just now. But also, I don't know, you make me feel like I'm, like, it's worth it to have me as a friend.
Which it is.
Not that you have to prove your worth, but that's just how my brain is, and you kind of help validate that part of me that thinks I have to, while also fighting the voice that says I have to. And I also don't think that that's specific to me. I think you help a lot of people feel that way.
All of my friends are wonderful.
And you're wonderful too.
Yeah, I am wonderful, and I pick wonderful people to be around.
There you go.
Such as your lovely self.
I'm going mostly off like this whole conversation and answering these questions. I would feel like just in this hour or so, you've sort of chipped away at changing my mind that the world is a terrible place and everyone is awful. I mean, I feel like you're a realist. Like, you know that there are awful people. You're not, coming at it with this, like, sparkle pony attitude. Like, everything's great and sunny. But all of the insight that you've had about everything that we've discussed seems to be that, it's like people are stronger than they think, or you have more in you than you realize, or everyone's not out to get you. You might be overthinking things. And yeah, it just kind of like brought a very realistic and, like I said, like maybe everyone doesn't suck sort of feeling.
I do purposefully try and, while still being realistic, to see the good, because I do genuinely believe there is good in everyone. And while every situation is not good, there can be good from it. I cannot stop the rain, but if I can be sunshine in someone's life for 5 minutes, I will have lived a good life.
Oh,
and I have.
Oh, that's beautiful. This has been the most wholesome episode we've had in a long time. Thank you so much for bringing us this game and for facilitating this vulnerable conversation on the internet.
Yeah. Since 2018.
All right. Well, listeners, I hope you enjoyed this, and ask yourselves some of these questions. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah. Sparks any good conversation?
Yeah, please. You can find out how to leave a voicemail in the little outro thing. I hope everyone has a good night. I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had fun. I think my take would be try and see the areas where you can be someone else's sunshine, including yourself.
I love that.
All right, bye. If you like what you heard, tell a friend about the podcast. You can send them to picklesandvodka.substack.com, where they can listen to our entire catalog and find our newest merch. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka. My personal Instagram is at xtinajumper, and Lauren's is at Lauren3_AFH. We'll see you next week.